24th. Had a blah day. I had the talk with the attorney. I'm grateful I did, because he walked me through the steps and what I would need to do, and where it can get not ugly but messy with legal stuff. I mean, to a certain degree, I'm glad I didn't follow through with it from the beginning, because I would have made mistakes. I think I've been struggling. I mean, aside from the fact that it's going to cost a lot of money, I think what hurts is that I hurt him. And even though I'm accepting it, I find myself in a position where I don't really have someone to call. To talk about it. So after the call, I had a client immediately after, so I had to, like, box it up, put it away. And then knowing I have all this stuff that's due, and I'm like, okay, I need to make sure I stay focused, right? I can address it now, or problem solve it now, but I'm going to sit with it for a little bit, at least after this week. Then I'll unpack it. But it just really contributed to the rest of the day, so I took a nap. One of my clients canceled. I was grateful for that, and I decided to take a nap, and I slept the whole hour, and then I'd wake up for another client. But just like wishing I could call him to talk to him about it, but he's not in a place to talk to me right now. So there's this element where we have to do a full disclosure of all of our finances, and I didn't include that when I did the paperwork, only because lamest terms, right? We don't know how that system works. They complicate things so much with all this jargon. Like, why with the system, why complicate things to make things challenging for the average person to understand? Just doesn't make sense why you would want to do that. It's like, why can't it just be in simple terms, Why does it have to be so complicated? And then I even started thinking about my mom. She was going through this process. How scary it must have been for her. And I wasn't in a position to provide her emotional support because I was still angry at her. I was angry at her with how she was navigating it. Not, not realizing until later that she was being triggered from her past trauma. And then hearing my dad's side of it, and then with this whole like Roe versus Wade stuff, thinking about all the women who are caught, and just not women, but just people in marriages that they can't get out of. Makes it so challenging. It's so challenging. And supposedly he and I have a simple case, right? Assuming we don't change our minds about coming after each other. Because technically he could come for spousal support, because I was the primary provider for a number of years. It's just not fair. When supposedly, you know, he was supposed to be going to school to finish, and he didn't. It just sucks that the system is set up that way. It's set up where the man still has more power, right? Old school Bible references. Head of the household. I'm worried that he's gonna change his mind out of hurt, maybe. I don't know. That was always one of my fears with him, because he never got upset. And I was wondering what he would be like if he got upset. Because he didn't show anger. He hardly showed anger. And I remember even telling him, asking him, like, what did I ask him once? I remember asking him, I remember telling someone else, like, I'm almost afraid of him, because he doesn't show emotion, he doesn't show anger, so I don't know what that'll look like when he really is upset. Because he was always so easygoing, go with the flow. And I always wondered what he would be like if he was really upset. And I know he's really upset with me because he didn't respond to the last text. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do I communicate this information to him? To be fair, right? Like, full disclosure, okay, we had initially agreed we weren't going to put stuff on there because I think both of us were wanting to just make our own arrangements on the side. Like, okay, yes, we have all these bills, but we're really only going to split these, and everything else is, you know, to each their own. So I didn't include that in the full disclosure paperwork. That didn't go through, thankfully, and the attorney said no. Full disclosure documents, you want to be full disclosure because it's a way to protect yourself, that you weren't hiding anything, because one could always come back and fight that the other person was hiding stuff. And he gave a really good example, worst case scenario, but it's still, you know, because one person didn't want, because it happened after, it's like a timing thing or something. So he said it's better if you, full disclosure on both sides, right? And then it's the part that comes after that, all the legal jargon. He's like, we write out, even though that this is all disclosed, right, all the documents, only this amount is going to be divided or something like that. And I was just like, oh my god, like, it's so complicated. How did we make it so complicated? it be so complicated for people just to get out of an agreement? You know, we didn't even write our wedding. We didn't even write it. We just randomly picked it. Randomly picked what the church person officiator would say. And even at the court, because we got married at the court first. Like six months before. Technically, we got married in July. I forgot. July is the month that we got married. We got married during my lunch break. Because I went back to work. We didn't even bother to write down our vows. So what agreement, right? What agreement? He didn't have to put any work in. You know what I just remembered too? I just remembered that day, that moment after the pastor officiated it and sealed it or whatever. When they announced us, I wasn't happy. Like, they took a picture of us and I wasn't happy. Like, you could tell I wasn't happy. And he lifts my hand up. I remember that moment. He lifts my hand up like if he had conquered me, like he had won. Like I got her, right? And I remember the feeling. I didn't like it. That's why I didn't try anymore. But okay, right? I wasn't going anywhere. I hate that this is still in me. It sucks. And then realizing that in a couple of days, or I don't know how many days later this next week, I talk about Chapter 44, Episode 10, connecting with the different impacts of divorce. Yeah. So there you go. That's where I'm at right now. And I'm so behind on paperwork, but it's the middle of the week, Wednesday. I'm sure I'll manage. I always do. I don't know how. I always do. That's all. Just venting because there's no one else for me to call. Everyone's, living their life. My bee's going through the same thing. So anyways, I need to go drink my té de canela. It reminded me of my ex-mother-in-law. She would always offer me, she'd call me uva, grape, uva. Just tecito de canela. And the house smelled like salmon because I was warming up salmon. I was like, oh, I don't like the smell of fish when I came out with my clients. I thought, you know what, let me do some tea. Boil some canela, cinnamon. Give the house a different smell. So I'm gonna make myself some tea and be good to myself. To try to get back into the mindset of the work I have to do. So that's all.
Hi, my name is Yubi, and in case you haven't figured it out, this footage is capturing my experience as I learned to navigate navigate my personal spiritual awakening. I am learning that this experience is unique to each one of us. In whatever way we believe we are embracing living our truth, this just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, documenting my experience, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself, and really inviting you along for the ride. If by some magical chance you find this content to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please click the like button, share the message, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account, a personal one, and one specifically for this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I'm an open book. I have also created t-shirt designs. I'm wearing my favorite one right now, which is the North Node design, but I have that and other things that you can look at inspired by this process and journey, and I have the link in the description box as well as in the about section of my YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to check those items out. Any type of support is great. Again, if you find this content really helpful or meaningful, sometimes when we take that step and be vulnerable, with showing what's inside our hearts and what's really our truth, we realize that we're much more connected than what we thought we were. And so I hope that as I'm living this experience and that you find some type of truth for yourself, or find some type of ability to heal in some way just by relating, just by knowing that you're not alone. That really has been my goal with this process, not just being able to connect with others, but really for my own healing. It's definitely been a therapeutic experience and a very creative one for myself. So I thank you, and I wish you all the best, and we'll see what else comes next for me.